Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. All right. Well, looks like we have a lot of friends that have joined us, and we are very excited to have you here with us today. I have a limited view of the participants. Now I see them. Hey, Frederico. Hey, Terrell. Um,
Hi, Quan.
how are you?
Good.
All right. And so, just to kick us off here, this is a Bill, Ted, and I'm Quan, are a group of friends who are also lean practitioners and independent consultants. And we just love sharing a little bit about the lean journey. And we're doing these webinars as a way to connect with others and to just talk about some of our experiences and to hear about your experiences and just keep the practice going. And so this current series we're doing on downtime, which is a mnemonic for the to help call out the types of waste that there are. So that is what this call is about. My name is Quan. I'm not Bill. And I've been on a lean journey for about the last 16, 17 years. Funny enough, my first lean mentor, my first Six Sigma mentor was Ted at Coca-Cola. And he actually was my boss about 5 years, a couple years after that. So I keep bumping into Ted. All right. Ted, maybe you can introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ted. I don't know. I've been doing this kind of stuff for 20 plus years. When they called it reliability engineering, and then it was Six Sigma at Ford, and then it was Lean and Six Sigma, and now they call it Agile sometimes. So I just do this type of work and just love to improve processes. So that's why I enjoy just chatting about these things. So good to meet everyone.
And my name is Bill Cluck. I'm a lean strategist with 360 Lean. As Quan said, I love sharing what we know, and waste is one of the foundational elements of lean and essential to understand it. And it is as the kind of the root cause of all of the misunderstandings around lean. It's one of the reasons we started off with this discussion of waste. So that we can really have a good understanding of it. And I think you'll find Quan's discussion and presentation on weighting particularly interesting. So I'm going to pass it over to Quan.
All righty. So we're going to talk about weighting. So with no further ado, we'll talk a little bit about weighting. But first, just to orient you, I think, Frederico, you were with us when we talked about O for overproduction. I believe, yeah. We also talked about defects, was pretty exciting because we had a major defect with our event sign up. And I think we were attacked by some bots. So that's exciting. We had excess processing, overproduction. There's inventory, transportation, motion, not embracing change, which we'll talk about this week. But waiting is where we are today. And just as a quick overview of the 8 ways, they are literally categories of items that rob our customers of a good experience. They might rob us of time, money, energy. They're those things that won't let us be great. Kids say, "Oh, it won't let me be great." Waste can cause us to not be great, and so we have to keep an eye on them in our processes and eradicate them wherever we can. And so that's why we focus in, and waiting is where we focus in today. So, what do people wait on, and what really does it even mean to wait? It is as simple as it sounds, right? You're waiting. You're waiting on something. These are just a couple of examples on the left-hand side of things that we wait on. I work a lot in the information systems space. So, we're waiting on systems to be available. We're waiting on pages to refresh. Just waiting on software to be ready, waiting on other people. I'm being facetious with love.
I definitely think, Quan, it's an interesting topic, especially with COVID and stuff that's taking place, because there's definitely a little bit more waiting in certain processes that business have added or endured. just to give you an example, I was just calling like a customer service line at a bank the other day, helping my grandmother, and spent an hour on the phone waiting for an agent. There was no, how long you're in the queue type of message. There was no availability for a callback number type of thing. It was just simply waiting through that for an hour.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of these businesses are kind of struggling to kind of catch up because of not having the number of agents typically available, or having longer times because of the call volumes that are coming in versus people walking into a bank situation or other physical place.
Yeah, a lot more people being driven to via digital type channels, but the people aren't prepared to help us that way. And as I was thinking about this week, I think sometimes we don't eat our own food, so we don't even realize sometimes how long people are waiting, or the customer's experience if they're on channels or things that we haven't normally measured. And so I think that's your point there is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Yoko.
Hi, how are you?
Like that, who specifically have now focused on hospitals for their lean implementation.
And I guess I would add, usually I see waiting, it's usually because there's a disconnect in the process. Because somebody doesn't know something that's already happened, or like you say, they might be filling out some paperwork that they need to get done, and before they can go do the next thing that they need to do. So really simply, just doing a very simple process map or a value stream map can highlight where those disconnects are. And you can kind of see what's taking up people's time from actually doing patient care versus, maybe doing documentation that is probably needed from a regulatory standpoint, right? So I'm not sure you can eliminate it completely, but you can look at how you can optimize it, right?
Yes.
So just some simple ideas around observation, process mapping, and just seeing how people spend their time can really give you a lot of ideas on how to address waiting.
Yeah.
Say something about waiting as well. One of the things that people don't understand about waiting is it's not only, it is a primary waste in that, especially when we're batching things together, like paperwork, like, data collection, even inventory and manufacturing, there's a lot of waiting of the parts, waiting to get work done. And then there's a lot of waiting for them to move on to the next process. And then there's a lot of waiting of equipment and waiting of me. It's easy to add all of that up and assign a dollar to it, because that's kind of important that you take the waste and then assign some sort of value to it, because that'll help you prioritize. But it's also a secondary waste in that in a lot of the other wastes, when you stop doing stuff like overproduction, you convert that time into waste or waiting. And people say, well, what's the difference? If I'm either overproducing here or I'm waiting here. The thing is that you can do something of value in that waiting time. And so being able to convert that waiting time, once you've converted some waste, it's almost always, I hate to use that term, but quite often converted to waiting. So then your job is to convert that to value. So, but at least you're collecting up all the waste all over the place and putting it in a waiting bucket. Great, now it's more visible, convert it. And then you've got capacity. Convert waiting into capacity, and you're always going to be a winner.
Yeah. So I just wanted to call out here, how can we address waiting once we know the root cause? And these are just a couple of things I think we've probably all seen in life practice, and feel free to add some more. But I think I was looking at a recent example of a grocery store in the Netherlands. They are, social distancing. They're only allowing a certain amount of people in the grocery store at a time. And so that people weren't just kind of wandering around outside aimlessly, they put a certain amount of carts in the front of the grocery store. And you take the cart, when there are no more carts, there's no more space for more customers to come in. And so people get an idea of, they see, there are no carts, I must wait. Now, they don't know how long they have to wait, but it's a grocery store. So, and it's Netherlands, so it's not huge. It's not, you know, an American Kroger. So you could probably look and see, okay, somebody's coming. So that's an example. In IT, I often work with agile teams, and I like the thing with agile is oftentimes you'll co-locate, you know, virtually pull a whole team together. Got my finance person, my HR person, my IT people, everybody that I need, all those swim lanes that I was going back and forth across to get things done, that team is completely together, and it can reduce the amount of going back and forth across the swim lanes in order to get things done. Everybody's together and they work together as one unit. Just like if you were to train a staff member at a hospital to be able to do several different things so that they're cross-trained, not just hospitals. This made me think about robotics process automation, RPA. More and more people are starting to deploy those types of systems in their companies so that as soon as something comes in, as soon as some data comes in, a bot in the system takes the information and translates it somewhere else, not waiting data entry data and place it. All the places and things people wait on, what kind of technology is there or things that you can do in order to make people feel like they're not waiting. That's Chick-fil-A. I mean, somebody was telling me that I spend more time in the Chick-fil-A line. I don't know if you said that, Bill, or one of my other friends. You spend more time in your Chick-fil-A line than other lines.
I would never talk about you in a Chick-fil-A line. I just wouldn't do it.
I love Chick-fil-A line. It makes me happy. I don't go to the line anymore. I do curbside with my app. I feel better. I park. I don't have the pressure. I've already put the order in on my app. It's tracking me because, you know, I'm in the matrix. And when I park at the spot, I tell it what number I parked in. And then it tells me a team member is preparing your order. And then I sit comfortably at the curb. I'm not worried about moving around. I can talk on the phone, whatever it is people do in their car. And they bring me my order. I probably waited longer, but I didn't feel like it.